Hey guys, we're outside today. We're in Anchorage, Alaska. I'm Crystal Hutchins. You know me. If you don't, welcome. Get to know me. We're going to talk about a lot of things today, and I want to apologize in advance. I know these videos are long. I'm trying to fit in so much for so many people. I'm doing my best, and I'll keep doing my best. You keep coming back. I'll keep coming back. All right? Check it out on Mewe.com. I'm there with a profile. I post and I interact every day. I also have a group there. It's awesome. It's attracting awesome people who are helpful, wonderful, people who are learning, people who are at high levels. We're all sharing with each other. It's called Waking Up Vegan. It's a great place. Mewe.com is so simple. It's very intuitive. It's very easy to sign up. It's very easy to join a group. Join the group, make your profile, and then you're in the chat and we're talking. All right, just do it. So anyway, what we want to cover today is, first I want to talk about, okay, let me just do a brief rundown of the topics I'm going to try to cover today. Keep in mind, I'm a tangentologist. I have a bad habit of going on tangents and getting off track. It's stream of conscious, okay? It's what I do. It's all I can do. I had a really funny comment one time. Somebody said, like, your videos are awesome. You almost can't tell that you're reading. I'm not reading. I'm never reading. I don't have a list of topics I'm going to cover except for in my head. This is all knowledge I've acquired over years and years and years of research, study, self-study, all this stuff. It's just stuff. It's whatever. If you can learn from it, cool. If not, what do they say? Take what you can use and leave the rest. Cool, let's do that. All right, so first I want to talk really quickly about being a crystal child, being an indigo child, being a starseed. These terminologies, whatever you want to call them, they don't really mean that much. We're all here on Earth, every single person. We're all special. Some of us are not more special than others, but we come in with a life purpose, an overview of what we want to accomplish in this organic body. By the way, we are just little points of light, pieces of the entire mind of the universe. We are basically like little antennas. We're learning, we're evolving, and God is evolving through us in our learnings and our understandings. So it's a two-way path. What is given to us is from the universal mind of what it already knows. We're also giving to the universal mind with what we learn and our experiences, things that we enjoy, things we don't enjoy. We learn from these things. Okay, that's really quick overview. So you come in with a life purpose and an overview, things you want to accomplish in this organic body. Some people came here to ascend, some people did not. It's okay, it doesn't matter. It's all going to come out in the eventuality. Lately I've been seeing a lot of people talking about how they're awake or they're ascended. These things are not really understood as well as I think they should be. It's terminology, it's semantics, but however, if you were ascended, you would not be in 3D reality, okay? Christ is an ascended master. Some other ascended masters you may know, like Ramtha. I don't have a huge list to rattle off because not a lot of people have ascended from planet Earth, but it means that you raise your vibration all the way up into a new dimension, and then you can go wherever you want. And you don't stay in three-dimensional reality, okay? We talk about 5D. It's a couple levels up from this hardcore, what am I trying to say? This hard physical reality of like, boom, boom, I'm this, I'm solid, and this is solid, and I can touch it, and it makes it, okay, that's solid 3D reality. 4D, we're starting to experience telepathy and manifestation, slow manifestation, not instant manifestation. 5D, I've actually experienced, okay, I'm not exaggerating. I've been in 5D. You can raise yourself up to this vibratory level. It already exists. It's not something that's going to happen. It's a dimension. It's a level. It's a vibratory level. And in 5D, you can manifest instantly. I have done it. That video actually, I'm not sure if it's on this channel or the old channel that I shut down. So I'll do another video about that at a later time. I have too many things to cover today. But okay, that's just to clear up some terminology. So we come in with a life mission, a life path, and for that mission, we have an energy field. You know, we jump into these bodies, we take an energy field, we become a color. So when people talk about indigo children, those are the warrior people. They're here to break down the systems. They're system busters. That's why so many indigos are sick. They're drug addicts, and they're very toxic, and they're depressed because they feel like they aren't fulfilling their mission. What they need to do is heal, get clean, get their body untoxic, get out of delusion. Because when you're toxic, you're in delusion. You think all these things are happening to you. You think there's all these conspiracy theories. I'm not talking out my ass. I have been there. I'm sharing with you a different way that you can experience the world. You don't have to live in delusion. You don't have to think that you're part of the Illuminati, or the Illuminati is after you, or there's this crazy thing called the cabal, or that, you know, like everything is a conspiracy theory. These things are not, I don't want to say there's not negative things happening, but we don't need to focus on them. It's antagonistic to the goal that we're trying to accomplish, which for most people is ascension, or at least raising your vibration to see cooler shit in this world. Don't you want to? I mean, I can talk to animals, I can talk to plants, I can help people heal, I can tell you why you're imbalanced, I can tell you what's wrong and what's stuck in your body, I can tell you what happened to you when you were a little kid and why you're experiencing what you're experiencing in your life, and I can help you change it with hypnosis. These things are real, but the fact that we sit around and talk about, you know, what planet did we come from, or what race of aliens is bad and what race is good, it's pointless. It's detrimental to the process that we're trying to accomplish here, which is ascension for most people. Not everyone. Some people are just here to experience life. Okay, so you come in with the life color. The indigos, a lot of people have heard of. The other one that people have heard of is crystal children. Okay, a crystal aura is a clear aura. It's nothing very mysterious. It means that our auras are clear. It helps us relate to a lot of different kind of people because our colors then aren't bumping up against other people's colors. Of course, we all have egos. The ego gets in the way. It's just something that happens. We're all working on taming our ego. However, just so happens that I have a crystal aura. It helps me relate to a lot of different kind of people. I can find common ground with almost anyone who doesn't want to fight with me. If you want to fight with me, we will fight. I'm a mirror, and I will mirror back to you what you're expressing to me. That's just what's going to happen. Okay, so my mom named me Crystal. It's not a name that I gave to myself. I didn't, you know, have some spiritual awakening and become sunshine, maca, rainbow, moonbeam. That's not what happened. My mom told me that she agreed. She made an agreement with my dad that he could name me if I was a boy. By the way, my name would have been Harley if I was a boy. Harley Creston. And my mom said, Crystal, of course I told your dad he could name you if you were a boy, because I knew that you were a girl and I knew your name was Crystal. She also told my grandma, who was very psychic. I experienced a lot of her psychic abilities, and she's probably the one who first got me most interested in the metaphysical side of things. At a very young age, as like a preteen, when I would visit my grandma, she would have, you know, crystals and stuff everywhere, and she would have cool little gadgets, and she would have books about ESP, and she would give me books, you know, like Shambhala and stuff like that. And then I would give her books because I started on my own path of reading about all these channelings and stuff. Okay, so let's go all the way back to the days of MySpace. I was, you know, already quite aware at this point. I'm just for a reference, I'm 44 now. I was 26 when I had my daughter. I was already very into spiritual stuff and ESP and metaphysical things as a teenager. So it's not like I had some enormous awakening one day. It just was part of my life. When people say I had an awakening or I woke up in this month of this year, I don't know what they're talking about. I assume that it means they had an experience where the pituitary gland opened quite a bit and they started to see more things. These are things that have just been normal to me my whole life. Okay, so I was reading a lot of channelings around the time my daughter was born, like Cryon and the Pleiadians and stuff like that. I'm not saying like that these things aren't real. I'm just saying like to focus on negative stuff, like there's good aliens and there's bad aliens, it's just pointless. It's wasting your time. Focus on what you can actually do, which is heal yourself and change yourself, and then become a reflection of positivity and goodness. Reflect that to other people, and that automatically helps them raise their vibration. That's what we're here to do, is raise our vibration. So anything that takes us down a rabbit hole of negativity is not raising our vibration. It's the opposite. That's the point I'm trying to make, okay? I'm not like some uneducated person. Like, I'm not talking about QAnon and the cabal and all these things because I don't, and saying they're a negative waste of time because I don't know what they are. I do know what they are. I do research. I just want I want to drive it home that the point is to raise your vibration, and to get caught up in conspiracy theories and negative stuff is not raising your vibration. It's taking you down. Okay, so I was researching these things. I was on MySpace. I accidentally clicked on this video that said the problem human. Actually, let me backtrack a little bit. I skipped something, and then I skipped another thing. To clear up crystal children really quickly, the way that it was confirmed to me that okay, not only did my name have great meaning, I was obviously somewhere close to the first wave of crystal children that were coming in. I can deduce that just because of my age, but and because my mom knew my name was Crystal, she had some sort of psychic knowing. Also, I was born on Christmas Day. That's another topic for another video. I don't want to get too out there on you guys, but I believe there's a giant soul group here that came back as the Christ energy, because coming back as one body didn't work the first time. So when they talk about the second coming of Christ, I believe it's thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of us. It's called the Michael Soul Group, and we're all in different bodies, so we're all here, okay? Just me being born on Christmas was my initiation into understanding that, because I didn't grow up with any religion. I didn't have the Bible put in front of me. I didn't have Jesus Christ put in front of me. In fact, I had a Harley riding, truck driving, filthy mouthed dad saying shit like, those goddamn Bible thumpers. That was my upbringing. So everything I know, I had to seek out for myself. So I told you about these tangents. I apologize. I can't help it. It's who I am. All right, so I was researching indigo children because of the Cryon channelings. They were talking about indigo children. And then this movie came out that Neil Donald Walsh had a part in, the Conversations with God guy, called Indigo. And actually, I was invited to perform for the opening of this movie here in Anchorage. They showed it at a small theater. And I'm a musician and I do positive inspirational music, so I was invited to open that showing of that movie. The geese are back, it's spring, wow! I know you can't tell by the frozen lake, but it's our spring. So anyway, I was looking into the indigo children. I suspected I might be an indigo child When my daughter was about 5, she could see auras really clearly, much more clearly than I can or ever have been able to. And she would talk about people by their color. She would say things like, "Can I talk to that green guy?" And then I would ask her, you know, like, "What's Pharaoh's color, my son?" And she would say, "He's like a dark blue." Okay, so he's an indigo child. I get it. His dad was an indigo. That was very clear to me. I did see his dad's aura one time. I tend to get involved with indigo men who are a little broken. I'm an empath. I always have felt people's emotions my whole life. It's just something I've learned to deal with. It was hard when I was young because a lot of times I didn't know that my feelings weren't my feelings, that I was experiencing other people's feelings. And it took me a long time to realize how to maintain my own energy, my own vibration. That's another thing I'm going to get into before I quit this video. We're going to talk about running energy and how important it is and how it can protect you. Okay, so my daughter, I asked her then, "What is my color? What color am I?" And she said, "Pink and gold." And I said, "Oh, well, I always thought I was an indigo child," so that was sort of disappointing, honestly, to be honest. I thought, well, I guess I'm nothing. I'm pink and gold. I don't even know what that means. That doesn't mean anything. A couple days later, I was on this indigo website. They were talking about crystal children. I went and clicked on the link to see what it was. They explain that the crystal aura is clear, but it very often presents as pink and gold. All the hair on my body stood up, and I was like, "Wait, what?" Because that was such like a distinct thing that she said. It wasn't just like, you know, it wasn't random. It seemed random at the time, but it was very, God dang it, what's the word I want? Specific. It was very specific. Pink and gold. And I thought, wow, okay, there's my confirmation. I'm a crystal child. Like, I sort of like had this idea, like, I don't know what. I just, like, when I heard the term crystal child, I just kind of thought, oh, that must be what I am since I'm not indigo. It was confirmed by my daughter, who was very psychic when she was little. Things would happen, like I was in the bathroom once. There was no diaper changing table, so I was changing my son's diaper on the floor. And this is just a vivid memory that I have. And my daughter goes, "Mom, when the 2 ladies come in, can I talk to them?" And I said, what 2 ladies? And the door swung open and 2 ladies walked in. And I thought, damn, this kid, she's teaching me all kinds of stuff. A lot of really cool stuff happened. She once woke up from a nap. She touched this spot on my back that was hurting. And she said, "What's on your back, Mommy?" And I said, "I don't know. What does it look like?" And right when she touched it, the pain went away. So a few days later, I realized, like, right when she wakes up from a nap, she's real sort of fuzzy, almost halfway on the other side. So I waited till she woke up from a nap, and I asked her what was on my neck, because I had a pain on my neck. And I said, "Do you see this thing on my neck?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "What is it?" And she pointed to my thyroid gland, which was radiated when I was 15. They destroyed it with radioactive iodide. And she goes, "It looks like you went to the doctor and they hurt you right here and right here." And she pointed to both sides of the thyroid gland. It flaps over your neck. And I was like, oh my God. I said, what should I do? Because I've been trying to fix it my whole life, even before she was born. And she goes, "I think you should fix it, Mommy." And I'm just like, fuck. She's like me. She sees stuff, but she doesn't always have the answers. Another time she woke up from a nap, she looked at me like I was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen in her life. She put one hand on each cheek and she smiled and she said to me, "You're Jesus Christos." And she's 2 years old. There's no no even conceptualization for that terminology. She didn't even say it in English. She said it in Spanish. She could not have heard it anywhere. There's nowhere. So one time I was in meditation. I asked to the universe, "Who am I?" And that immediately just came in my mind, "You're Michael." And it was later that I learned about this soul group called Michael that came here. It's Christ energy. So we're all here, we're trying to evolve, we're trying to ascend, we're trying to get back there, okay? Now I'm going to talk really briefly about my vegan awakening and why I think this is so important. It's twofold. I had a dream. In the dream, this energy being put its hand on my belly and it said, what is this? Is this cancer? Or are you pregnant? And then it said, oh no, this looks like cancer. And so I interpreted that to mean that there's a thickening in my uterus. I had already had 2 children. I was not pregnant and not having any more children. But the dream was so vivid, like I thought I was awake. This being said to me in the dream, T57 or something like that. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. They said this letter number series and it'll be a quick turnaround. And I woke up and I went straight to the computer. I Googled the number letter series and it was a chemotherapy for cancer. And I just started crying because the dream was clearly real in some way, shape, or form. But my guides know me. They give me this kind of information because they know what I'll do with it. So I start researching what's the natural cure for cancer. And I come across the alkaline diet. And I'm looking at this list of everything that's alkaline. And everything that I've been eating is not alkaline. I was trying to lose the baby weight, so I was doing like Atkins, just eating like meat and cheese and drinking coffee and eating, sugar substitutes like, what was that stuff called? Gives monkeys cancer. It's in a yellow thing. Splenda. I was just eating that by the cupfuls every day in my coffee, just drinking so much coffee because I had no energy. I was drinking like a pot or 2 of coffee a day, just eating total garbage. I realized after getting out of that I'd had a headache for like months. Like that was my normal, was just having a headache. So that dream woke me up to the fact that I needed to change the way I was eating and eat more alkaline. And about a week later, okay, now I'm going back to where I started to try to skip ahead to. I was on this MySpace page about indigos, and there was a video on there and it was called The Problem Human, and I was like, I wonder what that means. So I clicked on it, and all of a sudden I'm watching from the inside an undercover camera on an animal testing facility, and it was heartbreaking. It was mind-blowing. And every time I always heard things like, like not tested on animals, I didn't think it was like this, I thought, maybe they're putting shampoo on bunnies and stuff, but this is horrid shit, okay? They're taking like a rhesus monkey, putting him down on a table and cutting him open with nothing, no painkillers, nothing. He's fully alive. And his little face just looks so human. And with every breath that he's taking, the blood is just spilling out of his abdomen. And I'm thinking, this is what we do? This is so fucked up. And I'm like, I need to get all the shit out of my house that's tested on animals. Meanwhile, I'm like, just about to eat a bite of chicken salad. It took before I took the bite of salad, I just started crying. It suddenly hit me. I am the problem because I'm eating animals. And I cannot even tell you how exponentially my awareness started to increase when I stopped eating animals. But that's just stage 1. When you start eating just raw, fresh foods, organic, fresh fruits and vegetables, soaked nuts and seeds, there's a reason why. You got to get the enzymes inhibitors off the nuts and seeds. Otherwise, you can't really digest them. They're sort of toxic still. All of this stuff is I know there's a lot to learn, but just do it. Just learn it. Just research. Just find out. And come join my group. I'll help anyone with any questions, with recipes. There's a book on my website. It's called The Comfortable Transformation. We start with vegan recipes. We go to raw food recipes. We get up into the higher levels, because the only way we're going to ascend actually is if we get off food. Food is an addiction. The body is meant to live on air. It's a self-contained system. We're like walking plants. Okay, I'm not a breatharian, but they do exist. There are people already who have elevated to this level. They've gotten off of food. Food is an addiction. We don't need it. It's actually clogging up our systems. The less you eat, the higher vibration food that you eat, the quicker you evolve, the quicker you heal, the more you see, the more you know, the more you can help others. Stop this delusional shit about like you're this and you're that and you're from this planet and all this stuff. Like, fine, maybe you are. Maybe your spirit energy was once on a certain planet. We've all, I think, been on many, many planets. I try not to focus on that stuff. Although, when I was vibrating in the 5th dimension, there was a time I did have basically a telepathic conversation with another race of beings. I don't know who, but I think, I'm not positive, but I think they were Andromedan, because I manifested out of thin air a constellation on a leaf made of bugs. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. I was looking at this leaf. A constellation appeared. They were tiny little aphids. The constellation looks like it came from the Andromedan system. Okay, about a couple days after that, I went to my dad's funeral. It was so fucked up. It was my parents' house. They had moved out to Kenai, where my dad had a setnet site. They lived in a tiny house that would fit in my living room, and there was like 5 people smoking cigarettes in there. I couldn't breathe. I had to go outside like every 10 minutes. And my mom, my stepmom, she wanted me to scan like every single family photo that had ever been, taken. And it was just like a daunting, almost impossible task by itself, let alone in a house where I couldn't breathe because everyone was smoking cigarettes and getting wasted, and I just wasn't there. I'm very into I'm a clarity junkie, you know what I'm saying? So, sorry, it's getting a little cold out here. But my mom went off on me. She just went off. She released all this frustration she'd had with me my whole life, and I got up and I said, you know what? I was vibrating at a very high level. I hadn't been eating much. I hadn't been eating hardly at all. I hadn't been sleeping hardly at all. These are the keys actually to open your pituitary gland to reach the higher levels. So I was up there pretty high. I call it 5D, but to be honest, I don't know. I felt like if I wanted to, I could have ascended, but I chose to dampen everything down, eat, and force sleep. I wanted to stay with my kids. If you want to ascend, don't have kids, okay? They're going to keep you here. But so I left my mom's house in a state of just, I can't even explain it, where my mind was at the time. I was very hurt because I was very in touch with things, and what she was saying wasn't true. It was a delusion. And my dad had just died, and I was leaving his funeral because it wasn't what I felt would be the way that he wanted to be remembered. And on my way home, down the Alaska highway, it's dark and rainy and cloudy. I got a message to pull over. It was just that simple, pull over. I pulled over because I listen to these things, because I follow my intuition, and it usually leads me in the right direction. I pulled over. I'm like, now what? And just through the windshield of my car, I could notice that there was a giant space above my car that wasn't cloudy, and the rest of the entire sky was cloudy. And I was looking up at this space above my car, and all of a sudden I see an orange-pink globe of a color that doesn't exist in this reality. And it kept coming, and it was a triangle of these. It was 3 giant pink orange globes in a triangle, and it went over the top of my car. If there were 3 of me standing on top of each other, I could have touched it. That's how close it was. And then I heard, "We love you." And that was it. I actually had this moment of like, oh my God, is this going to be like that movie Contact, where they take me to their dimension and I get to understand a little bit of everything better? To get out of my car, and all of a sudden, you know, there's another car coming down the highway. Whew, just spray water all over me because it's horrible weather, and I get back in my car and I'm like, I guess that was it. So I think it was the Andromedans. I'm not positive. I don't focus on stuff like that. I focus on what can I do to be a positive impact on the world, to help other people vibrate higher, to get more of us there, because I don't want to be the only one there. I think there's hundreds of thousands of us who are almost ready. But we're getting distracted by these rabbit holes and these conspiracy theories and focusing on, listen, I don't have to read books anymore. And I'm not saying books are bad. I'm not saying getting your information from outside sources is bad. I did it for like 20 years probably, but I don't need to do that anymore, because if I have a question, I have a direct line. I just ask and the answer drops in my mind. So it's very easy for me to know if things are negative or positive, and honestly, like, I don't believe in right and wrong. I just don't. So like, if you're worried about, you know, coming to me for assistance with changing your diet and stuff like that, I don't judge people. I ate meat. I understand it's part of the process. But if you want to evolve and progress, I can help you. And you have to start with where you are. You just have to. You can't just skip from point A to point Z. It doesn't happen. But it's very easy for me to know if things are correct or incorrect. And that's why I can tell you with complete assuredness that QAnon is a fraud. It's a waste of your time and energy. Trump is not good for our system. It's a waste of your time and your energy. Focus on what you can do, and what you can do is evolve yourself. Okay, really quickly before I go, I want to talk about running energy. You can use this to do almost anything. You can use it to help people heal. You can use it to change the weather. You can use it to manifest things. And it's almost like a magic power, but it's really simple. Okay, we're surrounded by energy, and you're an energy being. You can actually hold energy. So what you do is you pull the energy into you. A lot of people say it has to come down through your head, or it has to be a certain color. It really doesn't. Some people don't have a very good imagination, but your imagination is your power. So just try to imagine that you're pulling in energy. You can suck it in from all around you, and you'll start to feel a little something. You might feel a little shivering or like a fullness. And you can tell you're starting to hold a lot of energy. Once you're holding energy, just push it out. Just shoot it out all around you like you're a star, like you're a Care Bear who cares, and you're shooting that energy out around you. Now you're totally protected from everything, from energy vampires to anything negative, because you're giving off so much positive universal energy that, you know, some people are worried about energy vampires. They come along and they drain you. Well, they could only drain you if you had only a little bit of energy to drain. That's why we do feel drained by people. And there's nothing inherently wrong or bad about energy vampires. They're just people who don't know how to make energy. So you can make your own energy. And if you're making this much energy, you're spewing it all around, there's one thing that's going to happen. You're going to notice that where you go, people just show up. You're going to walk into a place, it's going to be empty, and by the time you leave, it's going to be full of people. And it's because the universe knows that you're doing this. You're giving off all this positive energy, and it's going to align other people who need that energy. It's normal. Don't be afraid of it. It's just okay. It's just whatever. It's just what is. If you attract energy vampires to you, they will get so much energy off of you that they will just leave because they'll be full. and they won't need to sit there and suck off every last little bit. They can't. You're undrainable, they get full, and they leave. And so I did another video about this called cloud busting. You can take that energy and shoot it up out at the sky and imagine the sun coming out. Okay, this is a manifestation thing. Energy is what manifests. So it's the combination of your beliefs, and this energy from your heart chakra is basically where it comes from. You pull it in, you shoot it out through your heart. You can do that to manifest anything you think about that you want, but also just keep in mind that you don't really need to manifest things. You need to manifest a higher vibration, and things just start to come to you. But shoot this energy out. Say, like, close your eyes and imagine that the sky is blue, and then shoot this energy out. And I guarantee you, before long, the weather's gonna change. This shit is real, man. I love you guys. I gotta go. My hands are freezing and it's hurting to hold up the camera. Besides which, this is too long for most of you. So whoever has stayed here all the way to the end, you're my people. See you later.